The story of Rumpelstiltskin is, in a way, the story of Adam and Eve. The woman who's brought to the king is Eve. Adam was tasked with naming the animals, and Eve is given the responsibility, not explicitly in the Bible, but she's given the responsibility of speaking to the animals to find the identities that haven't been named, the remainder, the part that is not an aspect of the named identity, and turn it into an aspect that is participant in the system, to turn straw into gold. This is a very difficult task, and it requires that you bring in something from the external, which is Rumpelstiltskin. Rumpelstiltskin, the name, Rumpelstiltskin, so relative of Rumpelstilts. Rumpelstilts is the crooked, malleable changing on the stilts, right? The rumple on the hard, the solid, the bone, the tree. So it's the snake on the tree. And so she has to find the name for Rumpelstiltskin. Well, really Adam does, but I mean, that she and her husband are one, right? She's sending out her husband's body at that point, the soldiers, the body of the king, to go and find the name of the serpent. And if she can find the name of the serpent, then she doesn't have to give up her firstborn. But if she does give up her firstborn, as is what happens with Eve, because the fall, we actually fell, we didn't find a final solution at that time for that particular animal, you could say. The question arises, what is the identity of the daughters of Eve? Who are they if Rumpelstiltskin is not named? And I believe the answer is something like Medusa, that they become the daughters of the changing, and when they look upon man, he turns to stone, which it means that when their ultimate capacity to represent and be a force of change comes in contact with the masculine aspect appears over rigid to an extent where it can't cope with reality. It doesn't have the name, right, of the serpents, and so it can't deal with them. Now, obviously, Medusa, the way that she was defeated was that some kind of a mirror or shield was used so that her head could be cut off without whatever his name was, the guy who defeated her, looking at her, but just looking in the mirror. Now, the mirror is interesting because it's confusing as to whether it's a mirror or a shield, but it becomes very clear that her head is one of the ways of thinking about her head. One of the stories about it is that it's placed into a shield, the Aegis, and given as a gift to the gods, which makes it very clear that it doesn't matter whether you see it as a shield or a mirror. They are the same thing. You're taking the image of Medusa onto the shield. Now, I don't think the ultimate solution is held in the Greek myth. I think that that's a pagan attempt at it. But really, the true solution is the one given to us by Christ, that the imaging is not an external thing, that the imaging cannot be on merely a shield, that we have to take that imaging, within ourselves. We have to become that which we look upon. We're the mirror, not a shield or an external thing reflecting. And we have to then ourselves be staked to the solid. We have to be on the tree at that point. We have to be nailed to the cross. And that this is how the daughters of Eve become Marian. Yeah.